welcome back. My name is Ms. Kirkley, and I'm one of your favorite teachers here at the 7th and 8th grade academy. And if I'm not, I will be at the end of these YouTube videos. Today, we are talking about adding integers, and we're going to talk about 3 different things about adding integers, and I hope you're able to use this resource. So first things first, we're going to just talk about generally adding numbers. Now, if you're like me, you've been doing it for a while, so we're just going to quickly go over this. So first things first, we want to take this from horizontal to vertical, but we're going to have these get married at their decimal point. So we're going to put the decimal points, and then we're going to write the numbers as they are written. So 1061.4, and then 2020.5. And we're going to put a line there. Now, we're just going to add down. So 4 plus 5 is 9. Marry down that decimal. 1 plus 0 is 1. 6 plus 2 is 8. 0 plus 0 is 0. And then 1 plus 2 is 3. There we go. Normal adding numbers. Now, something happens when we talk about fractions. So instead of us talking about full whole numbers like we are here with that decimal, that doing it with the decimal is easy. But doing it with our fractions is a little bit harder. So I'm going to teach us 2 ways to be able to do this. First way that we can do this is finding our common denominators. So 5 and 20, we would just multiply the 5 and the 4 to make a common denominator. So 5 times 4 is 20. So both of them are going to be 20. And when I multiply to the bottom, I have to apply to the top. So when I get 5 to 20, that's multiplying by 4. So 4 times 4 is 16. And I'm going to keep that whole number. Then to get from 4 to 20, I multiply by 5. So I have to do 2 times 5, which is 10. And I'm going to keep that whole number. Now I'm going to just add. So a whole number 1 and a whole number 2 is 3. A whole number 16 and a whole number 10 is 26 with that bottom of 20. I know that 20 goes into 26 one time. So this is actually a 4. And then this turns into a 6. But this can be simplified, like we talked about in another video. So I know that 2 goes into the top and the bottom. So 6 divided by 2 is going to give me 3. And 20 divided by 2 is going to give me 10. So that would be my final answer. Other way we can do this, which makes it a lot easier, is turning these fractions into decimals, adding them, and then making it a mixed number. So I have 4/5 right here. So 4 divided by 5 would give me 0.8 normally. But I have this whole number in the front, so that's going to be attached at the front instead. So 4/5 is 0.8. I keep that one in the front. Now I'm going to do 2/4 as a decimal. That's 0.5. I'm going to bring down that whole number. That's here. So now I do 8 and 5 together. That's going to give me 1. Carry the 1. 2 plus 1 plus 1 is 4. So that's 4.3. Next way to turn this into a mixed number, I leave that whole number in front. And then depending on how many decimals are to the side, will determine what my denominator is. So if it's 1, that's the tenths. So that's 10. If it's 2, it's the hundredths. So that's 100. If it's 3 after the decimal, it's thousandths. So that 1,000 is at the bottom. So in this case, there's only 1. So 10 is my denominator, and this number just goes on top. Same answer. Another way to do this, if this is multiple choice, do this, find your answer, and then turn all of your answers into decimals. Because when you turn all of your answers into decimals, it's like revealing their secret of what's equal. Easy peasy. Last one that we will talk about is adding different signs. So like we just talked about in our last video, let me write these a little further. Like we talked about in our last video about adding negative numbers, we kind of talked about how when we are adding positive and negative numbers, we need to make sure that we are subtracting the bigger number minus the smaller number and then keeping the sign of the larger number. So we're going to do -6 minus 2. So we'll do 6 minus 2. That would give me 4. And then I'm going to keep the sign of the larger number. So that's negative. Now, let's do it here. Let's try it again. So I'm going to subtract the larger number 8 minus the smaller number 4. So 8 minus 4 is going to give me 4. And I'm going to keep the sign of the bigger number. That one's a positive, so it's going to stay positive. And that's how we do this. This is a quick overview. If you have any other questions, please come to our Google Meet and let's do this. Bye.